Well, I can assure you if that was a beauty pageant, we would not take home any prize. But I am happy to get a win. You know, we knew that they were 0-5 in the league if you could keep it under 14 turnovers. And so that was kind of one of the things that we preached. So to have 20 turnovers in a basketball game like this, and they cause them. And then to obviously be plus 21 kind of factors. But, you know, the other thing we had to do was be able to convert some free throw opportunities and keep them off the foul line. I thought both of those were done. We got a number of guys sick. We got a number of guys hurt. Quincy was on a minute restriction. We didn't want to play more than 10. But with 4 minutes to go in the game, he said, I'm good. And he was at 11 at that point, so that's why we hadn't played him anymore. But he said, I'm good. And you know what? For him to get that block and then make those 2 free throws, I thought that was such a momentum builder and really allowed us to get a win. And I told the guys in the locker room that was a hard win. You got to find a way to manufacture some wins when you're not playing well. And I thought we were able to do that and kind of knew that, you know, early that this is not going to be pretty and we need to find a way in order to manufacture one. That's a tribute to our guys.
You know, how big of a deal is it, you know, for these guys to, you know, have a 20 turnover win, you know, when you're trailing in the second half? You know, what can that kind of do for a locker room to win a gritty one like that?
Well, you come in, you don't want 20 turnovers anymore, and so it is one of those things where we've been pretty good. You know, I know that our best assist to turnover guy, Justin, has been out, and being able to find a way. I will tell you that, you know, Harlan to finish with 3 assists and 0 turnovers, that's a quality job. And then I just think some of it is X isn't familiar in that spot, and we don't need him to pass. I tell Corey this all the time: we don't need you to pass. We need you to shoot so we can offensive rebound. And you can try to tell X, and X is kind of making plays. I think some of the ball screen, their coverage, and they're really bullying the ball, confused Bijan a little bit, and really confused our bigs. We needed to change angles on screens. But I will tell you, it helps. Like, you know, you can win a game when you play that poorly.
Coach, for you guys to be all 3 repeat opponents you've gone against, do you feel like it's learning from the mistakes in the first game, or is it kind of just practicing and figuring out those overall errors?
Well, I will tell you, USF here at UTSA was as embarrassing a week as I've been a part of in a while. You know, you lose by 19 here to USF. We lose by 18, and to be honest with you, we were down 15 at the half at UTSA and just did not play. I mean, UTSA makes 15 threes. USF makes 12 threes. I mean, you're looking at 27 threes in a 5-day stretch. And that was really tough, but it was for our players as well. And it was one of those things that they wanted to address. I called it when we got back from Charlotte last week. I told the team that, and mentioned this to Kevin, our athletic director, that this is our redemption tour. Like, we get to play these guys again, USF and UTSA back to back, and it needs to be different. I don't know that the outcome, but you prefer the outcome, but the way we played and the way that we approached it needed to be different. And again, I'm happy for our guys because they stepped up.
And I'm sure Quincy wasn't feeling good. I heard he missed practice yesterday, yeah. So just
he hadn't practiced.
Yeah, so to be able to make, you know, 3 key plays. I mean, the rebound, the free throw, the block. How impressed? I mean, what can you say about him fighting through that?
Yeah, you know, I told the team before, this is not an attack on Quincy, but he's on a minutes restriction. This isn't the Michael Jordan flu game, and we're going to play him and see how much he can handle. So we did, but we've had several guys miss practices on account of the flu. It's going around. Our strength coach, Ashton Mirapol, wasn't even with us when we went to South Florida. We've had coaches sick, had players sick, but everybody's going through it. I think I've seen the flu is on a 15-year high from what it is. So it's going around, is what it is. But I am really impressed with Q. You know, 3 minutes to go in that game, he says, I can go. And now I don't know if he got coaxed into it by his teammates or if he was saying that on his own, but he stepped up.
And what have these guys shown you these last 3 games? Like you said, you guys hit that kind of like that rock bottom that week, and then to respond the way you guys have. What is it? Have you learned anything about these guys? What have they shown you to kind of turn this thing around a little bit?
Well, you've said we've hit rock bottom several times this year. So Kansas City, you said we hit rock bottom, so it just keeps getting lower and lower, according to Taylor Eldridge. But I agree with you. It was not pretty. And I mean, you were in San Antonio, and it was one of those situations where, I mean, there was a come to Jesus meeting that needed to happen. And you can go one of 2 ways when that happens. Like, you can determine to get better and approach this, or say, you know what, let me go ahead and cash this in. And it's a tribute again. Like, if people were in here while we're watching film and to hear players comment and to stand up and to take ownership, you knew that there was this shift, and there needed to be a shift mentally before there ever was going to transpire something on the court. But again, I just thought that the urgency to get to people, if you'd have told us we were going to make more threes than them, I was like, is anybody defending tonight? But that's a good shooting team, and to hold them to 25% is obviously a lot better than the 15 of 30 that they made there.
Is there something to be said about like momentum, winning streak for these guys to come to practice and do everything? How much easier is it for a locker room compared to a losing streak that you guys went through?
Well, you prefer the alternative, right? I will tell you, I honestly, I don't feel it in the moment. It's the following day, and if it doesn't go well, I'll just go jump into the film right now till somewhere around. Usually, if it's a loss, it's about 4 in the morning. I'll only go to about 2 tonight, just given the fact that we won and we're off tomorrow. But I will tell you, you're constantly just trying to find ways to get better. And I thought there was a little bit too much confusion tonight with some of their pressure and how they were approaching. So it's stuff that we need to clean up, because we played a Memphis team where we turned it over 33% of the time, and some of their chaos caused confusion. So, well, there's a number of things to clean up, but again, I will tell you that the last 5 minutes of a game are when players need to be able to make plays, and I think the fact that they're doing it, and you'll have a lot more confidence in these situations.
Coach, in a game of runs like this, where there's big shifts of momentum, where the ball's kind of going in favor of UTSA, how confident are you in your team's ability to adjust mid-game and kind of figure out how to come up with a win?
Yeah, you know what? We've done that. Down 10 at Charlotte. We had to call a pretty quick timeout. It was 11-3, 4 minutes into this, and we already had 4 turnovers at the 16-15 mark. So I will tell you that, like, they need to know that, man, if we'll make this adjustment, or if we'll do this, and a lot of times they're talking through it. Like, I don't really have to add much. They're saying the things that need to get done, and they're seeing the game in a way, and you ask them, like, tell me what you're seeing. So the fact that they can course correct on their own obviously really helps, but it does give them confidence. And you know what? The other thing that it does is give them a voice, and that you have to have a voice. It has to be player led. It can't be coach driven.
Is there like an additional value when you guys, like you said, you feel like you don't play your best, you turn the ball over 20 times, I'm sure the percentage at the rim probably not great,
Yeah.
to still win, what's the value in that when you guys have done it, I think 3 straight times now?
Yeah, I do. I think players have to know that there's a way to win every game, even when things aren't flowing in a way that you had hoped. And there's value in that. You would prefer a ugly win versus something that looked a lot cleaner out there, and you're on the wrong side of the scoreboard. So I think they need to understand the value of getting to people, understanding personnel, the willingness to, the thing that we tell them on rebounding is we don't know unless you go, and like, you need to go, and let's just see what transpires. So I think all of those, that there's a ton of lessons to be learned here, and it is one of those things that you're going to get more and more confident as you win these games.
I saw Justin was in a walking boot. Is that any kind of development there?
Precautionary.
Okay. Is there?
He
an
just
update
hasn't
on-
progressed at a rate that we had hoped, and so can this aid the healing process?
Is it a toe thing, right?
To toe,
Then we're not talking to him before Sunday, are we?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Can I ask you about Memphis? We'll wait till then though.
yeah. Is that who we play next? Didn't, honest to goodness, didn't even know.
Coach, on a little bit separate topic, just the moment of silence for the flight victims, and then you
Yeah.
guys wearing the shirts in support. How important was it to show support for the families?
You know, you think about that, right? It was 2 weeks ago today, and you're kind of aware, but you know, it's one of those things. I do a pretty good job of this. A strength of mine is I can kind of compartmentalize something and really project it, and you just imagine families waking up to a new reality, and that's really tough. And so to make sure, obviously, it's something that happened here, and to make sure that we can honor. I mean, you have Wichita State alums, you have people from Wichita, and you know, you really just have, I mean, you're just heartsick for the people, because you think about that if you were ever in that situation. And it is, I'm glad the school is doing something in order to recognize a number of people whose new realities are extremely tough.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.